Hello, hello. How is everybody? All right, let's hop back in. We are, what, 13 now?
Yeah, sounds right.
Ah, yes. I remember now. Everyone was different. They all had new portraits. Oh, look at
Yes.
Cal!
And maybe new dialogue.
Cal trundles by you with an empty wheelbarrow. Hey, Solana, he calls out. Get in, we're going planting. Wanted to hear a fun nature fact. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Want to hear a
Just
fun
need
nature
enough
fact?
biology to get a free car.
You recently overheard the children learning how to count by studying hop eyes. Hop eyes have 1 foot, and 2 tail forks, and 3 stomachs, and 4 eyes. Oh, that's cute. And if you see 5 of them together, that's lucky. Cal laughs, finishing the mnemonic with you. Wait, how did you find out hop eyes have 3 stomachs? I don't want to know. How did they find out that hop eyes? That you know how they found out, bud?
Through science.
No. He got taller too. See. Alana's short. Look at Dis in his little emo jacket. He's about the same height, a little taller.
A little bit.
Dude, you look like you're about to hide under a bridge or something.
He really does have that energy.
I'm also very confused about, I'm assuming his pants that are connecting over his jacket. It looks like a jacket. This is a very confusing outfit
Um,
for me.
I mean, it looks like he has overalls, kind of, because he has
But
the little straps there. But yeah, it looks like.
but this looks like a hoodie. It goes down like it's got a long part here, but in on the front
I
it looks
guess
like it's tucked in. I'm very confused by
I
this
think it
whole.
has like a split down the side of it. Like there's like a front and a back flap, and he just has the front flap tucked in.
Okay. It's still a little strange. I don't know, the whole
Yeah, it's
outfit's
still
got a little.
weird, but I mean, it's Dis. What do you
Yeah.
expect?
He also paints his nails black, everyone. Nothing wrong with it, but I'm not very fond of the fact that I don't know. The portrait's nice. I just wish he didn't have a hood on. I don't know why. I like the coloring on the hair and I want to see more of it. You catch Dish on a ridge overlooking the wilderness. Bobby gives head along to something playing through his ear speak. He doesn't notice you walk up. He jumps when you tap him on the shoulder and scrambles to turn off his holopalm. Don't sneak up on me like that, he grumbles, then flops backwards into the grass to look up at you. Man, I was just getting to the good part of the song. What you listening to? Dis looks away. Just some old music from Earth. You probably wouldn't like it. Try me. You sit down beside Dis and extend your hand to link your hollow palms. Dis stares at you for a few seconds before pressing his palm to yours. And music floods your brain through your ear speak. Haven't we done this before? I feel like we've had this conversation before. We were just much smaller.
Yes, yes, you have.
This music. I wasn't actually expecting it to do the music. Takes his hand and weaves his fingers together timid. Listen to a lot of Earth music, he says. Do you like it? He asks. You listen to this? I love this band. He cracks a smile, relieved. Good, he says. It's my favorite right now. I always listen to the same album on repeat. It's comfort music. I really like her voice. He stares into his lap. Sometimes I feel like the lyrics are about me. They're just so like my soul really gets this kind of music. But don't tell anyone, okay? Makes me feel better thinking that someone knows my pain, even if it's just a dead Earth woman. It's nice. I actually really like it. Hopefully it's not copyrighted. Just nods and closes his eyes. Yeah, he replies. I have a lot of time to think. Not like everyone else here. Whoa. Ah, I see. Lie back in the grass and listen to Dis's music for a while.
I see, it's giving you this option.
Yeah, it's at this option.
I mean, you do have him filled halfway up the relationship bar, so I guess at that point it's like, hey, do you wanna hold hands?
How scandalous. Enjoy the time with this, or introduce into some new music. You bring up your whole. Stop it! I don't wanna. You bring up your holopalm and cue up something different. When it starts playing, Dis frowns. I don't like listening to new things, he says. I just want to listen to my own music. Good to broaden your horizons. A strange, secretive look passes over Dis's face. My horizons are pretty broad already, he mutters, his face turning a little red. I don't want to say that, but I'm still not. I don't want to do that one, so. This is Buddy. Yeah, I kind of figured. Dis shrugs and cuts the connection between your holopalms. I told you I don't care. He lies back in the grass with his own music playing and ignores you until you give up and leave. You should have given me a better option out of that than that one. Hey, Nixie! How was Kumarin? Oh, sorry. They were nice. Very hyper, very excited. She had lots of energy. Good energy. I like it a lot.
Yes, good energy.
Honestly, if I had to pick as far as like who we would try and pursue a relationship with in this game, it's gonna be Cal. He's an animal lover. Duh. Of
I mean, yeah, you definitely relate to that one the most.
course, I could also go with Nem. I'd be totally fine for Nem.
That is true. Nem is a bundle of energy.
Nem is a big bundle of energy. I see you still hard at work, girl. Tangent standing still with her face held up to the sky, letting blue snowflakes landing on her cheeks. They melt almost immediately. She doesn't move as you approach. After a minute, she winces and rubs her eyes. It stings, she says, because it's made of acid. Acid snow? Tang nods. The holonet entry says it isn't harmful. It freezes at 12 degrees Celsius and turns into tiny crystals that are so heavy they fall from clouds. You can see them under a microscope. She sticks her tongue out and lets some snowflake fall on it. It tastes kind of sour but sweet, she observes. Fascinating. You just said it was acid.
Yes, but it's not non-hostile acid, I guess.
Tang pulls a sample jar out of her coat. We know what it's made of, but our understanding is incomplete, she says, and places the jar on an outcropping of rocks. The big mushrooms changed whoa, my brain. The big mushrooms changed in shape and color before the snow began to fall. I wonder, is there some sort of signal that precedes the change of the seasons? What happens if I expose samples of collected in dust season to snow from quiet season? A small excited smile creeps across Tang's face. There's so much to learn about this planet. I can't wait. You and your brother are so much alike. Tang narrows her eyes. Yes, we used to get that a lot, she says. I guess it's still true. If you think sneaking out of the colony is the same as valid scientific research. She frowns at you. He's so dumb, she mutters and shoves her hand under her arms. He only cares about feelings, especially his own. Oh, look at her scales! Nim is so adorable. Nim scratches at her cheek and then scowls at out of the blue as a bit of blue scales flake off. Stupid acne, she smutters. On top of everything else, I got this too. Sure, want to train together? Whoa. What is
Card.
that? Used to be able to go mano a mano with Nim, but she's been training hard. You get your butt kicked all over the sports ball pitch. She leans over you while you're lying on the floor, completely gassed. You okay? She laughs. I didn't go too hard, right? I love Nim. Got so much hair now. And Tang has none. Let's go find
Clearly,
Mars.
she stole all the hair.
Hey, Mars. Ugh. Mars whines. Nothing ever happens here. Please, 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 just anything. I'm dying here. I watched every holovid and I'm done every quiz and every holozine. And I'm so tired of being a teenager on this stupid rock. It's been almost 5 years and I don't even have a boyfriend. Her new portrait's really pretty too. Tell her about my day. Do I have anything she'd like? Here, you can have a crystal. I know you like crystals. She holds the crystal up to the light and gazes at it. At the right angle, I can see my face in it. Beautiful. You know, Solana, you're all right, Mars says as you approach. You blink at her, trying to figure out what she means. You're all right, what? At your stunned silence, Mars laughs and tosses her hair over her shoulder. Did I just hit the threshold to. Oh, wow, Mars. I have been ignoring you, haven't I, girl? I'm so sorry. You're all right.
I mean, she is the one you had the least friendship points with and who has gotten the most friendship downs with.
I know. It's not on purpose.
It just happens.
You actually have good taste, unlike all these other nullheads. Ever since we landed, it's been help with this, Mars, and don't waste resources on that, Mars. It's boring. At least you understand the importance of sophistication. Oh, there's Dis. You shoot the breeze with Mars a bit longer. At some point, Dis sulks out of the living quarters and has to pass by you both, clearly trying not to draw your attention. Where is he going now? Mars mutters to you, then raises her voice so Dis can hear. Try not to get eaten by aliens, she calls out to Dis. If you die out there, you can't use your body. They can't use your body for fertilizer. Don't be a waste. Well, Mars, now you're making me see. This is probably why we haven't hung out with her, because I don't like siding with anybody and being mean.
Yeah, that's rough.
Mars, why are you like this? We've been friends with Dis. We're gonna stay friends with Dis. You say it loud enough for Dis to hear. He looks at you with wide eyes before scurrying towards the walls. Oh, wait. Wait, she respect that? Alright, girl. Huh? Mars says with a little smile. No accounting for taste. She seems to respect that you challenged her. She watches Dis disappear from the sight and then shrugs. Maybe you can get through to him. I've tried, but he doesn't care about contributing to the colony or being popular or earning kudos or anything important. -1 kudos. Why would I use that? I feel like that's rude.
That would be rude. Like, she likes to be challenged, apparently, but also, like, don't undermine her, I guess?
I guess. Yeah, Dis we are really far along with because of how
To be
much we've
fair, you got
snuck
a
out of
lot
them.
of free points with Dis by doing all the exploration stuff.
That's true. What I really want to shoot for right now is trying to work on the shimmer, because our pups is clearly not having a good reaction to it. So we're probably going to build friendship with Tangent really quickly,
Probably.
because I think we need to get more biology. Is this the only place we can get biology right now? Technically, I have a buff to getting skill increases, but let's face it, I don't need them.
Yeah.
So we're gonna work on we're gonna work on reasoning. We're going to be smarter. We're going to be smarter.
Yes, we isn't dumb.
Thank you for the hydrate. I feel like this area would give us biology some way, shape, or form. Yep. This also could raise toughness if we wanted to at least get some. And friendship with
Haha.
Cal. I'd be game for hanging out with Cal too.
Yeah, that's multiple birds with one stone.
You visit Cal and Socks before your work shift one morning, just to check up on them. As you expect, Cal has Socks out for her twice daily playtime. Hey Solana, he says, waving. Look at what I taught Socks to do. At his gesture, Socks stands up on her hind legs and wiggles her upper body at you, like she's waving, too. It's impressive. She's a smart girl. You are. Next, Cal gestures in a circle and Socks curls up in a ball. Then he raises both hands in the air like a scary monster and Socks rears up and chitters menacingly. Cal says pew pew and Socks rolls over and sticks all of her feet up in the air. You count at least 14 legs. What happens when she outgrows her box? Do you find food for her? Does she get lonely? How do you find food for her? Cal looks distressed. It's really hard, he admits. She eats so much right now. Tons of leaves and grasses and those rocks, of course. I think she swallows them all together and chews it up in her gut. Like a float cow. Her teeth look like they go all the way down her throat. I don't know if I can keep hiding how much food she eats, though, Cal says sadly. What happens when she outgrows her box? Fox clambers up in Cal's arms, almost toppling him over with her weight, and curls up across his shoulders like a scarf. She looks seriously heavy. Well, people hardly use this barn anymore, Cal says, just adjusting to her weight. It's just storage. Maybe she can live in the rafters. You're pretty sure your mom comes in here often as the head of geoponics, but you hold your tongue. Fox hasn't been discovered yet. Maybe she's really good at hiding. Get lonely? Cal says, looking down at the ground. I think so. She used to sleep all the time, but now she needs to run around and climb a lot more. I still come here every morning and evening to let her out, he says defensively, and she goes back into her box right away when I tell her. She's a good dilly piller. I promise. I know she's not she knows she's not supposed to go outside without me. He pets her snout. I think maybe she's just not a baby anymore, you know? Little dilly piller. This too to neighboring cards. And things can be negative if I remember right. Or can
Yes,
they
but
not?
it only does the minus
That's
to
right.
yellow cards. So
Only to yellows. So I just need to make sure there's a red one next to it. Uh-oh. Hmm.
there are a few ways you can shenanigan this with items.
I have quite a bit of item.
Yes.
Here we go. Couple of points in biology. Oh, look at the portrait of here.
Huh.
It's your birthday.
Right, that one changes based on your stress level too.
That's true. It's your birthday. You wake from a night of blissful, peaceful dreams. No nightmares, no premonitions, just pleasant feelings of contentment. You stretch out your arms over your head, blinking in the watery, quiet sunlight that seeps through the porthole window. Things are always changing on Bartumina, but you can't help but feel like things are changing for yourself too. Not just your body, but your mind, your emotions, your future. 14's going to be your year. Your parents have been working around the clock since the last attack, trying to get the fields right again in time this year for this year's planting. Spark snow has already started falling, and every day they come home complaining about having to clear it. They ask you to ping them when you're awake so you can share birthday breakfast in your quarters instead of sitting shoulder to shoulder with everyone else during breakfast service in the canteen. You fire them a message and lie back on your bunk, watching dust motes float lazily in the light. After a minute, there's a knock at the door. Oh, hi. It's Auntie Sedent. She sweeps into your room in a bustle of skirts and shawls and sits down beside you on your bunk. Oh, look at you, she says. Happy birthday, beautiful. 14 years old. She leans in and gives you a motherly kiss on the forehead. It's been years since she took care of you in the children's creche, but all of the kids still call her Auntie and think of her as a close relative. Her sweet baking bread smell is as comforting as it ever was. She sits back and takes one of your hands in both of hers. Solana, ever since I held you in my arms as a baby, I knew you were so special, so important. You've become a young woman, but I want you to know I will always, always be here for you, just like your mom and dad, she says firmly. I want to grow up. Thanks, Auntie. Aw. She smiles and tucks an unruly lock of hair behind your ear. I guess you're old enough to call me Aunt Annie now, if you'd like, or even just Anne. Aunt Anne. Now come on in here, Aunt Anne says, spreading her arms wide. Give us a big hug. You hug her, enveloping yourself in the warm and familiar softness of her. Over her shoulder, you see Nim standing in the doorway. Well, her hair anyway. She's been growing it out, and there's no hiding it behind a corner. She skips into your quarters. Happy birthday, bud, she says, bouncing it on your bunk. No way to get older. Enjoy being 2 years older than me for a few months. I thought you were on your way to Medbay, Anne tells her, and Nim shrugs. Anne turns to you. So if you call Anemone Annie, you would be saying Annie and Anne here. And that would be wild.
That would be very confusing very quickly.
Annie's supposed to get her menstruation cessation implant today. Interesting. Oh, this is... Mom! Nim hollers. Gross. Solana doesn't want to hear about my period. Anne smiles fondly at her daughter. It's nothing to be ashamed of, Annie. Getting your period is a beautiful thing. It reminds us that we have the ability to make life. It's a sign you're growing up and becoming an adult and ready to take on the responsibility of taking care of that life. Nim wrinkles her nose and throws herself on your bed. I'm never making life. Ew, pass. Okay, maybe we are close enough with Anne. What's the matter? Scared? No, Nim claims, punching you in the arm. No, of course not. It just super sucks that everyone's talking about how I'm going to become a woman and how I'll finally look different than my brothers. Duh. She points at you. Don't you start too. I'll still kick your ass at sports ball even with cramps.
She probably would, too.
She probably would. Your parents finally arrive, still damp from the fields and bringing in the smell of crisp, tangy snow on their clothes. Oh, look, birthday visitors, your dad exclaims. Anne, are you staying for breakfast? Anne reaches into her bag and brings out a stack of tiffins. No, thank you, but I brought your order with me from the kitchen, seeing as I was stopping by. She pats her hand one more time. Happy birthday again, Solana. You'll always be my baby, even when you're all grown up. Your mom shakes her head as Anne and Nim leave. Oh, Anne, she laughs, sentimental to the core. She starts laying out the cutlery for breakfast. But I don't know how the colony would manage without her in the children's creche. I don't even know if I'm saying that word right. Am I? Is it creche or is it creche?
I'm honestly not sure.
I'm just going to keep saying creche. The comments can yell at me if they want to. She says and points a fork at you. Family is more than the people that birthed you, Solana, and don't you forget that. Mid-quiet. New park. Wait, what did we get? Hey, we finally hit a thing in biology! We finally did it!
Xenobotany research in geoponics. Interesting.
Very. This is engineering. Where is this? Engineering?
Geoponics might be
geoponics
technically...
is... Yeah, that's the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. Let's explore the xenobotany lab. We just got access to it. Hey, kiddo.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Your dad says, looking up from his work desk where he's dissecting a huge bell-shaped flower. Can you hand me that separator? I finally got my hands in... I've really got my hands in things here. You hand him the tool, which he uses to wedge open some sort of weird stoma-like opening inside the bell. Gooey purple nectar oozes out of the pools on the desk. Whoa, he exclaims. I thought I was draining this little beauty. Can you get a towel? I drained this little beauty. I can't read today. Could you get a towel, I guess? You help him mop up the flower juice. Yuck, it's sticky and smells like rotting vegetables. When you're done, he looks at you with pride. You know, I've been thinking of getting one of you kids to help me out with researching the native plants, he says. You think you might be able to break off some time to help your old man in the lab? You know, I know you've been studying biology, he adds. It's not as glamorous as gene tech research with instance, but it's important. He grins. Let me talk to your mom about it tonight before you go telling her. She's not a fan of alien plants, you know. If it were up to her, we would be filling these greenhouses with earth plants and nothing else. But there's gotta be more on this planet that we can cultivate. If you find any cool plants while you're exploring, bring them here and we can take a look at them. Cool! Well, that gives us a reason to go out and explore a little bit.
Yeah.
I assume that gives me a lot of biology. Hey, look, it gives us organizing too.
Oh, that's nice.
That'd be a good way to get that one going.
Plus, it still gives you friendship with Cal, too.
That's true. We are going to shoot for over here, though, because I really want to work on the shimmer.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think we need to get it, our stuff up with tangent to actually work on that. Dang. What is my reasoning at? It's at 6. We can't be a tutor unless we have reasoning of 10 or greater. Okay. Engineering gives us what? Just engineering and reasoning? It gives us 2 reasoning. Do we still get... Let's do engineering. It's been a while since you've taken a physics class. You wonder who they got to teach it after Professor Hal died. He was the teacher back on the ship. Who could possibly replace him? Congruence is waiting placidly for class to begin. In this class now, in his absence. The discussion between the RTX 4090 and the RTX 5090. I have a discussion about which one my husband is buying me. Hi, Jay. How's it going, Jay? I mean, the difference between them is that they're different generation apart, right?
They have one different number.
They do have one different number. But I'm pretty sure it's the number that means they're just the next generation over. You're
Pretty
alive?
sure.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're alive. Are you alive? That's debatable some days. But yes, today I am alive. Let's see. Today we will learn about me. I'm the ship's Why are we learning about you, Congruence? What's your job? Animal videos to the children in the crash. Part of me is here teaching you, and most of me is monitoring the engines which give us power. And the life support systems that make it comfortable here. How do you know so many things? My brain is big. It's just enormous, really. Much bigger than this little monitor you see here. It's connected to the ship's holonet, so anything you could look up on your holopalms, I just know. I'm not gonna ask whether she eats or poops. It's just, no, she doesn't. That's good. It's good to be alive. Very true. Are you sure you're okay, Jay? Bingo, husbando? So it is just the fact is it's just a number apart. Let's see. Congruence explains that she has to do all kinds of calculations to help fly the ship and land it, and that she was designed to provide a user-friendly interface to the ship's systems. But Hal wanted me to be far more than that, she says proudly. Now I can even tell jokes. Did the computer cross the road? She asks. I don't know. Why? Congruence smiles widely. I'm not reading all that. It's in binary. I'm sure if you, I'm sure I could pop that into binary, some kind of binary code or something like that, and it would tell me what she just said. It's probably really funny. It's not a strength challenge. +10 stress. Gosh darn you and your stupid kudos.
I mean, losing 1 kudos is honestly not that bad.
I know, but she's taking my kudos. that becomes a 3. So I kind of have to do something like that. Comes out better if I do that, though.
Yeah, the Eagle Eye is better in that spot, but I'd switch the Mars and the 3 around.
These two? Ah, good call. Because it's red ones.
Yep, because then you get the all red bonus there.
You worked well this month. And we got a friendship with Tangent. We got -1 kudos because Mars stole it.
Still steals it from you.
Stoles it. Alright, we need 2 more before we can actually start being a tutor, which I'm assuming is the one that gives us more reasoning.
Most likely.
Let's go check on everyone first. Now here's the stressful thing. Early pollen is literally the next month.
Yeah!
Hey, Tangent. What would she like? Probably this one. I can try it. Granted, that's my only one of that. See the flower? I don't know. I'm just trying. Oh, medicinal roots? Probably that then. Yeah.
Probably.
This is interesting, as Altang says, taking the roots and turning them over in her hand. Her lips curl in distaste at the dirt that still clings to them. No, really, she protests when she sees the look on your face. I'm going to analyze these roots to see if they have any useful properties. They might be medicinal. Turns and walks away and then remembers herself. Thank you, she adds almost as an afterthought. She liked medicinal roots. We did it. Alright, let's study life sciences again. Today in class, you're studying genetic enhancements. Nearly everyone in the class has one, chosen for them by their parents before they were born. Our gene tech is capable of making the most delicate adjustments to embryo genetic code, Instant says proudly. It doesn't take much to change not only our own destiny, but the human race itself. She smiles a little at Tang, who smiles back. Look around the class. You see an incredible array of genetic modifications, animal features, enhanced sensory organs, and the like, and there's so much more that you can't see. Instant gestures around the room. You may not even be aware of some of the genetic modifications of your friends. If you have invisible modifications, feel free to share it with the class. Most kids share their genetic enhancements, if they have them. Temperature doesn't bother me, Cal answers when it's his turn. I'm never too hot or too cold. I'm always just right. Someone jokes that Cal doesn't sweat, and that explains why he smells like a flower in sunshine all the time. Tang keeps quiet and skips her turn to share. That's funny. Sure. Cute. Cal sniffs his own armpit and laughs. Like flowers? I guess a little, he says. I think I smell like being outside. I'm debating, but this is still really weird. Anyway, we're gonna do that for now. That's what I'm saying, Kaz says, giving a fist bump. Getting lost in the fog.
Woo.
Mars making me lose kudos again. Feeling my kudos. And we automatically get friendship with Tangent again. Or biology. Biology's starting to grow a lot now, too. I think once you start getting it going, it seems to grow exponentially, if that makes sense.
Yeah, kinda. Like, especially depending on if you have any bonuses, but it can grow really fast.
Early pollen. Let's see how our dad's doing. Yep, he's got. We can talk to him. How you doing, Papa?
No dying of cough.
You can hear your dad sneeze all the way from engineering. It's explosive, like he's trying to scare away predators. He's wiping his nose as you approach on a handkerchief blotted with shimmering pink. Lately, he's also surrounded by a fine dust of pink pollen that clings to him wherever he goes. You keep brushing the glitter off things in your quarters. He gives you a hug, then brushes the pollen off your shoulder, laughing self consciously. You haven't heard him laugh much lately. He's been working hard trying to improve the colony's food supply. He shows signs of malnourishment, too. Though your mom is worse, you're worried about both of them. Your dad's skin is kind of shiny in patches. He sees you staring and rubs his hands on his arms. Sparkling dust poofs off of him in little clouds. Ventilating?
Yep.
In the light. Oh, yeah, that's a new symptom, he says. Seems harmless, though. You should be wearing your mask. And hide this beautiful face? Your dad laughs. He rubs his nose, especially with how it sparkles. Now that it sparkles, he makes a big show of checking his pockets. Huh, I guess I must have left my respirator back at the greenhouse. Why can't he just take care of himself? Your dad sniffles. Gosh, I feel like someone stuffed a whole potato up my nose. He says, like I could just poke a stick up there and pop! Fresh potato juice. Yeah. He just grins. What? It's true. You follow his gaze out to the fields and to the lands outside the gate. I wonder if the foragers could use an extra hand, he muses to himself. Yeah, maybe I'll join them out there tomorrow. Neither your parents are taking proper care of themselves. They're so stressed out from the poor harvest and low food supplies. They try not to let you see it, but you can tell. Maybe your dad is right. A little seasonal can't talk. Little seasonal illness is nothing compared to the danger of running out of food.
Let's see. If I remember right, one of the things they suggested that they need to potentially find to help solve this whole pollen nonsense is if you could find where the pollen is coming from during glow season.
Mm.
So I guess if you well, you don't have the stress for it right now, but like you'd be able to do an expedition maybe after you rest a bit,
Yeah.
because like that's at least what they said they would like to have a sample of. I don't know if you can find it yet. Who knows if you even can?
Well, I kind of want to do more biology, just to see if I can heighten my chances of getting out there. Um, and then I'll
Yeah,
rest, and then on the last month of pollen, we can probably try and do an expedition.
yeah, see if you can find it.
You're headed off to lunch break when you see Mars and Tang sitting together in engineering break room. Tang is eating a sandwich while also scrolling through her holopalm with it, and Mars is half collapsed on the table, barely holding her hand as she pouts at Tang. Come on, she whines. You said you were gonna hang out after lunch. Aren't you done eating yet? Thane takes a slow, deliberate bite of her sandwich and chews while making eye contact with Mars. It goes from funny to awkward to hilarious as Mars's face falls and she puts her head on the table and groans. Proper mastication is important for digestive health, Thang answers primly, and a smile curling at the corner of her mouth. You can masticate in private, Mars stutters. What are you reading, and how is it more important than me, your best and only friend on the planet? Just something for work, Tang answers. It's really interesting. I don't know how Dr. Instance was so well published, even though she was only 25 when the Strato left Earth. She was practically a prodigy, like me. She looks at our hollow screen again. It's absolutely fascinating. We're so lucky to have an accomplished researcher here on Vertumina. I need more reasoning!
More reasoning.
You've been eating for like half an hour, Tang. Come on, Mars says, pulling her hands down her face. Please, can we go do something fun before rampaging Xeno eats us? We're both too pretty to die of boredom. Tang smiles. You think I'm pretty, Mars? She asks, seemingly genuinely curious. Mars sets her hand on top of Tang's. The prettiest, she swears. Her other hand over her heart. Even prettier than me. Well, I mean, I win in the looks department, but I think smart women get, like, extra points. Mm-hmm, Tang says, putting her hand on top of Mars's hand and leaning in to fix Mars with an unusually flirtatious expression. Yes, and do tell me about my great beauty, she deadpans. It's all I live for. Mars laughs and tosses her hair over her shoulder, and you tune them out in favor of eating your lunch before you're expected back in engineering. Huh. Okay.
Well, that's a thing.
Hey, at least they're getting along.
That is true. It is preferable.
Can't do that one. I don't know why that's more.
Who knows?
There we go, I did it.
Mission accomplished.
I don't have as much biology as I do red, so a little harder. We have 10 reasoning. We can tutor. But we're also tired.
Woo!
You're at lunch with your parents. Sliced soy cakes and watery broth again. Great. When they put down their cutlery and look at each other, and then you. Solana, your mom says, there's something we should tell you. We've tried to shelter you from some things, but we think you should know we've been working hard in geoponics. Yeah? We know. There's a meeting after lunch and I want you to come with us. Okay. You follow your parents to the council room. Mars is also tagged along and is taking a seat near them, as your mom and Aunt Anne stand to address the council. After Yutiko officially calls the meeting, she gestures to your mom. I'm not going to mince words, your mom says firmly. All of our efforts to increase food production in geoponics have failed, especially given the failure of the pixie beans. The destruction of the fields during the last attack put the nail in our coffin. By the end of the year, the colony will run out of food. The rest of the council murmurs in concern. You and Mars exchange horrified looks. You've been doomsaying about our food supply for 2 years, Flu. Right questions. Do you mean to say we're past the point of no return? Her mother nods grimly. I'm afraid so. Even with rationing without securing a Vertuminen food source, our supplies will run out by wet season. She gestures to Anne, whose face is grave. Anne and I have also gone over the supplies and come up with food plans. We've crunched the numbers. Your mom sighs and spreads her hands. I'm sorry, geoponics should have been producing better by now. We should have been able to wean ourselves off soy rations. During wormhole transit, we lost our hydroponics in the hull breach. Sighs again. I know I've said it so many times, but our crops just don't grow here. We need those algae tanks. We need the microbial soil from Earth. Oh my god. Not Mom's fault. It's not. The survival of the colony shouldn't rest on one person's shoulder. It's not fair. She's been working harder than anyone else. She did everything she could. The council mumbles agreement. You decide they probably never really blamed her or your dad. The only holdout is Mars, who's crossed her arm and grumbled that it's clearly a problem with leadership. Grumbles that it's clearly a problem with leadership. So what do we do now? Instance asks. Starving to death isn't an option. No, it isn't, your mom replies. We need to secure a food source this year, before our rations run out. We're working double shifts in geoponics, but it's not enough. We need more people planting, tending, turning the soil. We need more hands. I can pull back the surveyors and focus on foraging native plants, Utopia offers. Even the young folks can help if they've proven themselves to around the survey equipment. I'll send out holo messages later. Oh cool, we can forage in the valley. This has been a burden of geoponics for too long, Yutiko says. It's time we all step up for our future. The council nods in agreement. Your stomach rumbles ominously. All right. A great time to have to take a break.
Yeah, but at least you have a new area to explore, so that'll be interesting.
Yep. But for now, we need to take a break. Oh, wow. Alana, your mom voice rings through the garden before you even see her. You and Squishy pause in your tracks, then your Vivacry slithers away and hides under a bush. Your mom thunders down the path. Where's this little pink bastard? She hollers, waving around a garden trowel. It ate my begonias. Your mom's been nurturing a couple of pots of begonias, beautiful flowering bushes with delicate blooms. Like most plants from Earth, they're exceedingly precious. Once the seed bank is used up, the only way to make more is to successfully propagate them here on Vertumina. Squishy is innocent! You hear hacking noises from the underbush, Squishy creeping out from under the bush, and as if on cue, hooks up a wet mass of pink and yellow petals. Your mom fixes her angry gaze on you. Your pet is a menace, she exclaims. At least spiders back home ate other pests. This one is a pest. She puts her hand on her hips. You should just release the damn thing. Who knows what it's gonna grow up into? Everything here just keeps growing, and nothing on this planet knows when to stop. Like my begonias, perfectly contained in their little plot. Then they knew when to stop. It's not Squishy's fault.
Squishy is innocent.
I'll train them better. Your mom points her at her eyes, then points at Squishy. I'm watching you, she mutters. You haven't given up training Squishy to follow simple commands. They clearly have the ability to understand what you're trying to communicate with them. There's just a huge language barrier. Cal gives you the idea to try clicker training, getting them to associate verbal commands with actions and rewards, using a clicking noise to be as a positive reinforcement. You may as well give it a shot. Let's do it. You got this, Squishy.
You're gonna Pavlov your little Squishy.
You've got this, Squishy. I believe in you. I believe in Squishy. I'm getting a lot of blues now. And none of them line up to what I need them to be.
Of course.
That count, or is it not doing what I need it to? Oh wait, that went up to 3. This is actually kind of a toughy one, but I mean, it's not like I don't have enough mushwood logs to make it happen if I need to.
Yeah.
Let's see. Put that one there. Oh no, that one's the one getting. Okay. That's fine. Except for when I do that. I mean, it still wins.
Indeed.
Victorious. Not very good, though. Oh! Ah! +1 on challenge win. +3 bonus to straights. Success! Use the clicking as a shared language, and Squishy quickly begins to respond to your commands. By the end of the afternoon, you're getting pretty reliable results from both stay and follow.
Neat.
This is great! Ricky must be more intelligent than people give them credit for. Maybe Ricky will be the species that evolves to be codependent with humans, like dogs evolved from wolves. These 2 are 3s, so I could probably keep them both for now. So I do have 2 of these. Okay, we're relaxed. We need to go foraging. Aw, that's Cute portrait, too. I'm assuming I would do it here. Forage in the valley. Perception and biology. Let's do it! Oh, hey, Smoke. How's it going?
He's a lurkin'. Time to take advantage of the fact that you can just bypass everything.
Utopia greets you as warmly as you muster for the first expedition with the foraging team. Solana, I'm glad you could make it. We need everyone we can get out there right now, boosting our food supplies. Ready to sniff out those tasties. Good luck hunting out there, she says, handing you an oversized backpack, more like a basket than a pack. Use your holopalm to identify edible and medicinal plants, and just throw them in here. I'll sort them back at base camp. Oh, and keep a lookout for creatures. It's pretty peaceful out here in the valley, but even a little bug will get you if you're not careful. Go slow, pay attention to your surroundings, and if you're unsure about something, don't approach it. Stay on the path and don't get lost. We don't call it the Valley of Vertigo for nothing. Questions? I didn't realize you could also flirt with her. They're opening all kinds of pathways.
Wow. Yeah, they're letting you do whatever you want, man.
That's so funny. Will Dis be with me this time? Utopia looks like she's trying not to smile. No, Dis is good at finding new things, just not so much of the same thing over and over. You'll be okay though, she continues. You won't be alone out there. You're doing important work. You're about to leave when Utopia snaps her fingers. Hold up, Solana. We're also investigating some species we might domesticate. Those we'll want to tag and capture. Ideally, we're looking for herbivore creatures that already live in herds and either produce something edible or reproduce quick enough that we can slaughter them for meat. If you see anything that fits the bill, tag them and bring them back. But I don't want to slaughter anything. This is also where we need to be to get samples for tannin, right? Tannin? Hey, look! It's a squishy!
Aha!
Dude, getting perception maxed out was the best thing I could have done. What is
Yeah,
this?
you can just go wherever. Oh my. Yeah, just being able to walk the entire map is just so nice.
Whoop. Okay, this was a different egg than what I was expecting. You come out of the trees into a large grassy clearing. In the middle is, well, you can only describe it as a pedestal. In the middle of a cradle of flowers sits a massive egg, easily larger than any egg you've seen before. It's white with red flecks, and it just sitting there in the middle of the empty clearing, totally unprotected. But it's, I mean, I've been taking eggs. Take it? Put one foot on the pedestal, brace yourself. This thing is huge. However, as you do, the pedestal starts moving and it starts growling. Flowering appendages unfurl to reveal the face of... Oh! Why is that Oh! I didn't realize the arrow actually indicated how hard it is. Throw the egg and run. Keep the egg and run. Keep the egg and run! $65. Holy cow. See, I can do this. Okay. These two would pair nice, so I'm not going to use them. Are you there? Does?
Man, this is a high number, isn't it?
It is extremely high. Oh wait, that one's unchangeable. We kind of want the boost this time. We're gonna boost the baby card. Because I have a lot of logs. I'm not very good at making straights, am I?
I mean, it's just like with poker, man. Straights are a bitch.
It's okay. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, give me just a second while I see if I can make anything out of this. I don't think I can.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much as high as you can go. That's a super goal too, so honestly, pretty good.
Hey, my toughness went up. You stumble blindly
Nice.
through the clearing towards the relative safety of the trees and cumbersome egg blocking your view on your own feet. You fall a few times, just barely managing to scramble out from under the claws of the manticore. You eventually find a member of the Expedition's Protection Squad who fires a warning shot with her plas rifle over the manticore's head. It roars in defiance and slinks into the trees. That was not worth it. I find those on the ground all the frickin' time. We did get kudos, though. And it counts as a colony food. The egg's pretty addled
Nice.
from all of the running and falling. If it was going to hatch before, it certainly won't now. You get a shipton of kudos for it, and it's super tasty. So now I know interacting with eggs could get us killed.
I mean, that just makes sense.
And yet I keep picking them up. Okay, there's an exclamation mark. There's another squishy.
Important.
There's another exclamation mark.
So at least 2 squishies and 2 exclamation marks to hit.
Okay, let's go ahead and do the exclamation marks, and then we'll play around with whatever question marks are left over.
Yeah. Definitely gonna talk to both the squishies.
Yeah? Okay, let's start up here.
Gotta corral them.
You're alone, exploring an unmapped area of the Valley of Vertigo. The pollen is thick here, and your air filter is overworked. A warning light has been flashed orange for the last 10 minutes. But there are
This
plants
is
here
fine.
that you've never seen before, flowers with intense rainbow hues and strange lumps of fungal matter which pulse as if they're breathing. You cut some samples. Utopia will totally give you extra kudos for these. The pollen is especially thick up ahead, deep fuchsia and shimmering with color. Everything here seems to dance with tiny flecks of reflecting light. It's kind of magical. You push forward into the suffocating pink fog. It's so thick you can only see a few meters ahead. You follow the glimmering towards where it's densest. You come upon a glade filled with what seems to be strange topiaries. There we go. They loom out of the glittering fog, each in the shape of an animal. They're all formed from the same spongy, glittering pink substance and dotty with finger-length fungal growths. You're so distracted you almost fall into a large hole in the center of the glade. Check for danger? You've seen plant-like animals before. Are these topiaries actually predators, waiting for you to get close? Watch them carefully from the edge of the glade. They're completely still, not breathing. There's no life signs. Good. Your envirosuit keeps a warning. Take a sample of the fungus. Cool. As you bend down to take a sample, you realize the dense, shining haze is coming from the topiaries. The fog is seeping out of the holes of each fungal growth. You break off a few growths in a collection vial. You remember helping Tang for an extra credit in biology class. She said that the shimmer, seasonal illness that affects your dad in pollen, is some kind of colonizal fungal growth. Could this be related? Envirosoups keeps beeps a louder warning. Let's leave. I got what I came here for. As you exit the thick pollen you're about to see again, your mask warning light starts flashing red. The filter is finally clogged. You got out of there not a moment too soon. You lurch back to the checkpoint where the other foragers quickly replace your filter. Utopia chides you for not paying attention. I paid attention. I left when I needed to.
Yeah.
You spent some time working in geoponics, so you know your way around a plant or two. Walking through this area, you notice something. different about it. The bare ground feels bouncy, like a trampoline, and the plants all look weirdly stunted. Not a lot can stifle nature here, so it's honestly a little weird there's no grasses or mosses growing here. Just bounce for fun. All the plants in this clearing are oddly stunted, and there are very few grasses or weeds, as though something has sucked all the nutrients out of the soil. Or wait, is this even soil? You kneel to take a closer look. More like a kind of dense moss or coral, maybe. You press a hand into the moist, squishy substance. It smells sweet and starchy, like cake. It blankets the ground here in a thick, spongy layer, swallowing up everything it touches. Gross! But it smells so good. You dig a large chunk of the sponge cake up and bring it to geoponics. Further analysis is needed, but you have a good feeling about this one.
You might have
Yay!
just found yourself some sponge cake.
Alright, let's go play with the squishies.
Yes, find all of the squishies. And then whatever else happens, happens.
Let me find them. I know I saw two of
One
them.
was on the right side, a bit further down.
This way.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Hi, little squishy. Your path is blocked by
Maybe
an
yours can interact with.
Your path is blocked by a massive eight-legged xenofauna, something between a spider and a squid and a bear. I wouldn't describe bear. It's in a rage, grunting furiously and bashing itself against trees and rocks at random. You duck and hide in its glare as it glares in your direction. It breathes heaving, a dozen of eyes gleaming with madness. The same soft pink and purple you recognize from the multi-legged victory that lives in this area, but it's so much larger. Could this be a related species? Why can I fight it? I have no empathy, apparently.
Yeah, your empathy is pretty low.
Let the creature sniff my pet.
That is an option.
Its gaze drops from you to your pet Vickery Squishy, who chitters and runs up to it, waving for its grasping tentacles. The giant creature huffs and leans down to sniff it, its rage forgotten. Yes, let it? I don't want to hurt it. I want it to hurt Squishy.
Squishy will be fine. Squishy is innocent.
Yo! The larger creature makes a chuffing noise like a tiger, bassy, vibrating exhale that ruffles your Vickery's fur. Content it's not going to eat Squishy, you keep back and let them introduce themselves. Squishy isn't intimidated in the slightest. In fact, it seems totally relaxed in the presence of this hulking beast. They touch tentacles and sniff each other, and your Vickery is even curls up in the bigger one's arms for a while. Aww. Oh, less stress. Wonderful. Wait, they look like
Nice.
they're just like parent and child. Is this another phase of the Vickery? Vickery? Ricky. After a while, the huge Vickery leaves harmlessly, and you're happy your little buddy got some social time with their own species. Oh,
Yay!
oh. Let's go see the other one.
You're doing the equivalent of taking your dog on a dog walk to the dog park. Where it's like, ah, yes, look at all the other fun
There's this
animals
plant.
for you
I'll
to
come back
interact
to
with.
that plant. Oh, there's one more around here somewhere.
Yeah, it was
There
near the
you are.
beginning.
A curious Vickery blocks your path. It's acting strange. It keeps scurrying up to trees and hanging upside down to get a different angle to look at you, and then dropping down when you try to pass underneath. Maybe small, but it's at least attempting to be intimidating. That must mean something. It's not interested in your pet Vickery. It's interested in you. Even Squishy looks unsure and hides between your legs. We can do it.
Ah, you got this.
It's a 61. The checks are getting harder.
You got this.
Card becomes a 3. Ha! I made it straight. I did it.
That you did.
Actually. That. Go ahead and do this. Maybe. There are no jump cards. Excuse me. I guess I could do this.
Yeah, you could just go with a blue flush. It looks like that's pretty good. Although I'd switch one of the 6s and the.
I already hit the button.
Oh, well.
I don't have any gem cards in my hand.
Unfortunate.
I give myself extra stress.
You could, but that is entirely up to you.
That matches it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
We got more bravery.
Yeah. That one's almost to the next tick mark as well.
The Ricky runs up to your leg. It's a giant spider thing and it's got weird tentacles and ah! Get it off! The urge to dance around and shake it off is almost uncontrollable, but you manage to keep your cool. Ricky tastes you with its tentacle feeler legs, but it doesn't look interested in causing you harm. It pokes at your backpack trying to get in and then gives up and scurries off. Oh, that was a thing. Are
Interesting.
cute. Alright, I think this plant over here was the only other weird thing, so.
Yep, and then it's just whatever random question marks you run into.
You find a trippet, a large, tasty plant, kind of. You've heard it's sort of like an animal, too. Like a lot of creatures on Vertumina, it kind of defies classification. Whatever it is, it's huge. It's practically taller than you are. Another one of these questions, but there's no challenge to it.
Hmm.
Hmm. I guess we'll just note its location and move on.
Yeah. Play it safe.
Yeah, I kind of figured that would happen. Oddly, when you come back later, it's not here. You must have recorded the wrong coordinates. I had a feeling it was going to do that.
It's alive.
I should have just did it myself. A line of termite-like insects crosses the path here. Curious, you follow them to their destination, a massive sponge-like hive of crawling bugs, writhing with life. The bugs are tending to larvae nested in the holes of the sponge, feeding on the rich royal jelly that oozes from the hive. You step in closer and hear a warning hiss from above. Atop the hive is a queen, whatever it is. Wait, no, she is the hive. Wait, this is a squeeter hive. Squeeger? Her abdomen is swollen and lodged in the ground here, rendering her immobile, but not defenseless. The hive queen groans and growls at you, and the air prickles with burning flavor of acid. She must have some sort of defensive acid spray. That jelly looks pretty edible, though. Well, we know what we're doing.
Whew, 79.
It's expensive. Let's swap these two. And then I have 8 of these. Great. We just make sure to use our items.
Yeah.
And then that messes with that one. Whoop. And then it turned red.
Haha!
I'm just trying to make them go +1, damn it. There. Me being OCD trying to get a flush, and then that's still a 5! And that became a 10! What?
+1 to physical red cards, so every time you swap one to red, it gets
Oh, yeah, I'm
+1
dumb.
on top of that.
I'm dumb.
You're good. You're getting a ton of score just from this hand, so.
I know, but I want them to be in a straight, and I have to force them into a straight. Okay, and then I can use a log on that one. I can count, right? That's a straight.
Yes.
I guess we're just gonna do this. +1 to physical red card. Oh, yeah, that set it up there. There, we did it.
Super goal.
Animals is gonna be maxed out before too long.
Yep, it's getting close.
Milking the Squeeger. I can't say I like the name of this card. We got kudos, we got colony food. Look at all the food we're getting. You get in there and squeeze out some jelly from one of the Hive Queen's many holes. Ugh, that's not a good sentence. Somehow managing not to get sprayed too badly by our acid. Some lands on your arm and the back of your hand and sizzles briefly, but you keep your calm long enough to escape with your bounty. You're too worn out and tired to continue. You have to go home now. That's fair. But we got lots of food.
Yeah, good amount of colony food bonus.
And our biology's getting up there. Perception cannot raise anymore.
It sure can't.
We be tired. Our dad made it through another month of the pollen.
Yeah, and you got more progress on the cure, so that's always good.
I need more reasoning to study with her. Yeah, we need time off, I know. Security Chief Rip visits the garden sometimes, especially when your mama's around. You can hear their laughter ring through the garden sometimes, though they go quiet when you approach. When you're sneaky, you can overhear them reminisce about old times, back when they used to serve together on Earth. Before your mom chose your dad, Rhett still comes to your mom for advice, even though she doesn't like to talk about her time as a fighter. Time for Vertuminalia. And that feels really early for it to be Vertuminalia. The yearly midsummer celebration when the colony gives thanks for its good fortune. Is that something we want to do? Well, it would be, but as you file into the main square, you can't help but notice the feast table is nearly empty. What Anne lacked in resources, she made up with care. The dishes are lovingly plated, soy cakes glistening, steamed rices from buns stuffed with mince, and there are great pinchers of vegetable broth rendered out from even the most inedible food scraps. There's a neat stack of sugar cubes for dessert, a whole sugar. What a luxury. In an underwhelming feast, that'll be the highlight. Governor Yutiko's welcome speech this year is short. Her frail body trembles as she welcomes you all to Vertuminalia with a dry, whispery voice. Then has to be helped off stage. Like all of you, she's been feeling the effects of the famine. Everyone clears away the chairs for the annual competition. Which one do you participate in this year? The talent show! We have more creativity.
Yeah.
You and Mars report to the stage for talent competition. This is nowhere to be seen. Mars frowns, looks around as if he's lying in wait. Oh, boo, she grumbles. He always made me look good. It's just for you, I'm only the best out of 2. Mars has been working on her speechcraft. This year, she gives a speech inspired by great leaders in Earth, linking their philosophies into sort of a mega theory about how the greatest works of human history have come from overcoming our greatest struggles through ingenuity and cooperation. She can't help herself drawing from parallels to the current famine, the failure of the colony leadership and to prepare for it, and how the council clearly needs newer, younger voices to be able to imagine the future. The council isn't impressed by that part. Because it's Mars, the climax of the speech revolves around inspirational music and fireworks. It's very exciting. You're up. What have you prepared? Original song, a dramatic reading, a comedy routine. How about original song? +2 bonus to straights. I will attempt. So
Good
what
luck.
do you mean by +2? So it just adds more? How come that? Oh, it's unchangeable. That's why. That's hilarious. And then it's a straight.
Yeah. Gets you a
Hey.
good amount of points even on the first hand.
Not a that's a good one. You know what? Yeah, the bonus to straights kind of is helping a lot here, even if they're low cards.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's between the bonus it's giving you there and the bonus that your pet gives you. Straights are at like a +5 bonus right now. So like even a basic straight gives you just a massive amount of points.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. Super goal of 28.
Nice.
I wish I could get rid of that last baby card, but it never shows up in the rest periods.
It's one of the downsides of having a saturated deck, I suppose.
True. Mars Act was tough to follow, but the talent show is judged by audience applause. Given how tired and hungry everyone is, your lighthearted and simple song is what people really want. Hey, and we got more friendship with Mars. Hey, she's a heart and a half. Mars looks miffed at the snub, but shakes your hand. Geniuses are rarely appreciated in their time, she says. Yet again, I just rested every time.
Every time.
After the festivities, the whole colony takes a few days off for a break. Well, except for geoponics, and the foragers, and the kitchens, and everyone who uses the break from their usual work to help out with the places they didn't close. Okay, not really a break, but you try to take it easy anyway. Now, mid-dust. Okay. Oh, yeah, all of the strength ones are taking a hit since. So it would be better to do these.
Amusingly, your red is the one that you don't need to help in, so this is fine.
Yep. I guess our social ones would be here, right? This is organizing
Yes.
and perception.
Well,
There's
you
so
could get more things unlocked if I remember right. I think you just have to have Mars put a good word in for you,
Yeah.
and that is part of the problem.
Yeah, I think I still have to have a better rating though. Like I think she needs persuasion, and I don't have good persuasion.
No, your persuasion is not terrible.
I'm
but it
betting I
could be
need at
better.
least 20. I don't know what raises persuasion. I could try and get it up. It's perception and organizing. Friendship with Mars. Oh, that's always good. Honestly, with how things are going, it really feels like I should be doing expeditions.
Yeah, honestly, with the food situation, it might be best.
I wonder why it doesn't let me interact with her to give her the thing. I wish that was like a thing I could just do. Here, let's do study humanities real quick. Because that'll get my persuasion up the last bit that I think I need before I talk to Mars again.
Yeah, go for it.
Go on an expedition the next day. Been hard at work in the lab trying to find a cure for the shimmer disease. You joined them in their research. You're the one who found the sample in the shimmer fungus and analyzed it. You're the one whose father suffers the most from it. You confirmed that the shimmer is an airborne fungal disease and that the thick, choking spores in the pollen are the same fungi from the Valley of Vertigo. The ones that colonize the host and turn their bodies into more spore-producing fungus. Finally, you have a long-due breakthrough. Sunlight! +1 in biology. You try inoculation, antibiotics, antifungal creams, but what finally works is high-intensity light treatment that mimics the full force of the sun during the dust, coupled with an injection to increase its potency. Of course, Tang exclaims. The fungal colonizes animal life during the pollen, and some succumb to it, but the intense light of dust scourges the fungus from survivors. It's all part of the natural life cycle. The treatment works on samples, not to test it on a subject. You open a triple-locked research room and pass through an airlock. You don't have your environment suit on, but that's the point. You need a strong dose of this fungus in your lungs. The small room is filled with shimmer fungus. It's growing on everything. The floor and walls in lumpy shapes that were some kind of biomatter once. Now it's all just fungus, violet and shiny. You breathe deeply, marvel in the feeling of soupy, dangerous air infiltrating your body. Tang watches safely from behind the thick plexiglass. You can't tell if she's jealous or impressed. Next, you slide into the light therapy machine and bask in the nice warmth of light for a little while. You even have a nap. Dr. Instance takes your vitals and runs samples of your fluids through various machines. She's excruciatingly thorough, but after a few days, she concludes that the treatment is a success. You carry a high fungal load, but its effects have been nullified by the light therapy. Yay!
Woo!
We did it!
Cured it.
Remarkable, Instance says, going over your findings. Now that we have a frontline therapy, we can begin treating the population to prevent the fungus from taking hold. The Shimmer Cure. All cards to the right become mental. Cool.
Interesting.
She looks over at Tang. Solana's discovery will be a great help with our other research. You expect Tangent might be cross that you got the credit, but she nods, looking pleased. You're just thankful that no one was killed, not your father or anyone else. The colony is safe from the Shimmer. Yay! We did it!
Mission accomplished.
I are happy. Yay! Ooh, our bravery's close.
Very close.
Did creativity just pass? Surely not. We got 5 parts for creativity, so no, we've had it like that for a little while.
Yeah.
And persuasion's up to 20.
Nice.
We're getting there. We're doing good. Hi, Tangent. Tangent's deep in conversation with one of the other scientists. He seems to be consoling her, though Tangent's face betrays no emotion as he claps her on the shoulder and reassures her that she's doing really well for someone so young and that everyone compromised some of their samples when they were first learning. He leaves and Tangent sighs as she goes and puts her head in her hands. stopping short when she realizes she's still wearing gloves. She peels them off and digs her fingers into her eyes. You okay, Tangent? I'm fine, Tangent replies immediately. I compromised an experiment I was working on because the vent was still open when I sprayed the workstation down with sanitizer. She sniffs. It's so gross here. I probably did that fungus a favor. Tangent takes a bottle of sanitizer from under her workbench and cleans while she speaks. There are pollen spores everywhere, she whines, and when she comes over here, and he comes over here and tells me, it'll be okay, Tang. Like it's his job to console and patronize me. She's not gonna like that.
Yeah, probably.
But it is okay to make mistakes.
No.
Tangent shoves the sanitizer back under her workbench. Don't you understand? She says in frustration. Says, frustrating seeping into her voice. If we never feel the pain of failure, if there's no cost to it, why should we ever improve? I need to own my own mistakes. I mean, you can own them, but you don't have to, stew in them. What I don't need, she continues icily, is someone patting me on the head to tell me it's okay and that the adults will make it all better. I messed up, she said. Just let me fix it. Don't make a big deal about it, like I'm a child with a boo-boo. +1 if this has the highest value. It's okay, Tan. Probably talk to Mars. Let's tell her about our day. Mars is always talking about how she's bored and wishes there was more to do here, but there are 100 reasons Vertumina isn't boring. You try to list them all. There's all the cool plants, the new constellations to look at, and just yesterday you watched a Dorbs moth squeeze through a crack in the wall no animal should be able to fit through. Oh, that's a good one too. It's the same one. All cards to the right become a 1. Never mind. I thought it was going to do the, all of them become like these stats. Oh well, it made her happy. Mars listens politely, but starts yawning halfway through. Less bored is still bored when it comes to Mars and Vertumina. Alright, that's pretty good. I guess we go out and try and do some more.
Yeah, I could
Food.
swear there was a different option with Mars that you could talk to her to try and get
Oh, yeah,
her
there
to,
is.
schmooze or something.
Sure, we'll talk to her again. Tell me about working at the depot.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah. We need friendship with Mars 10 or greater. We need rebellion less than 20 to go straight to and ask for a job. Okay. Well, Mars hems and haws. I suppose it's a lot of work to do alone, and I do like you. We should stick together. Whatever Mars does to pull Administrator Sig's strings works, because an hour later you get a message from them on your holopalm. They're dubious that you'll be able to rise to the responsibilities of the role, but that's nothing new. Sig is dubious about everyone and everything, but they agree Mars should be more efficient if she has someone else to keep an eye on her. Here we go. See what that gives us.
Okay.
It's probably friendship with Mars.
Probably organizing and maybe persuasion.
Yep, that's it.
Aha!
Okay. We will work on that, but first, expedition.
Yes. Gotta see if you can get more stuff.
That we can just keep doing nature facts with Cal. I don't want to weigh down the deck right now. Oh, we can dare him once we get bravery of 80. I'm just checking in with everyone. Hey, Nim. Want to train together? We need toughness of 80 or better to train with Nim now. Nim is strong.
Nim is pretty strong.
We can't help him with the animals. That's funny. That's a manticore.
Interesting.
Do I want to do that? I don't think it takes up time. I think it could.
Yeah, most of these ones where you get a card by talking to someone take no time up.
You think so? Okay. Run it then. I want to see what happens that we get this as a card. You spot your dad poring over some plant samples. Never should have wasted my time on those beans, he grumbles. I thought for sure I checked them over and over, he sighs and scrubs his face. Too late now. Your dad is helping two bristle slugs who've gotten tangled on each other while. Is that not a manticore then? Maybe they were wrestling.
Maybe?
Your dad doesn't want to go into the details. He hefts up the larger one and you carefully pull apart their bristle spikes, being careful not to get jabbed yourself. 10 minutes later, they're back at it again. Your dad shrugs. The heart wants what it wants, I guess. That's funny. I guess I could go ahead and get get the cards. It's just gonna pad the deck a lot. Oh, that's a cute one. You could tell him about the time Tang brought a skunk bug for show and tell in biology, and it got scared and made the worst, most smelliest, grossest stink you ever smelled. And everyone thought Tang had farted. Then Professor Hell had to clear out the whole room, and it took 2 weeks to get the smell out of the bean bags, and it was so gross. But also kind of neat how much a tiny bug could take the whole room of kids, make a whole room of kids run away. Cal laughs. I remember that, Solana. Except the way I heard it, it wasn't Tang. It was you. That's funny. This game is so cute, guys. It's just cute.
It's very cute.
I think those were the only two I could do. Is there anything else with Mars? Need 40 to debate. How about Mom? How's Mom doing? We can't tell Mom about what we learned today. We don't have enough organizing. Alright. Expedition time. Need to make sure the colony has food. And if I see that plant again, I'm taking care of it. Now that I think about it, none of the stuff like resets until the end of the year. So I won't see it again because that was the only one I saw. Something on the ground draws your attention. It's oddly lumpy. Scope it out. God, it's 63. Everything here is really high. Does it count if you do that one? Nope, it does not. There we go.
Easy peasy.
It's a potato minefield. Underground, the recent rain swelled up young melons to bursting. You better watch where you step or you'll end up knee-deep in potato juice. Good news is they're tasty. More kudos and colony food. They're so dang heavy, the calorie-to-weight ratio isn't optimal. Most are too young, but you find a ripe one and dig it up and roll it back to the depot. Look at us getting food.
Yeah. Helping out.
What's up?
Just helping out the colony. Doing your job.
Cluster of mushrooms. Are they edible? There's only one way to find out. Well, there's a few ways. If you're not a coward. Eat one and see. We can identify the
My
mushroom.
God.
Just see what happens. Does that include that? Yeah, it does. That's a really nice one since you can just change everything blue.
Mm-hmm. Definitely easy to get a flush with that.
Yeah. Let's do that, though. Because then I can use this one for this route.
Oh yeah, because if you can get like on the last one making a 5-way flush, that'll be a ton of points.
That's true. Just throwing these up here.
Oh, hey, Merc.
That'll work. As a game, the game's going good. I'm just working my way through this. That works.
I wonder how many points that would give.
What?
Oh, well, I was thinking Mars is one where it turns all the cards to 1. Technically not great, but since this challenge gives a bonus to pairs, if everything did get turned into a 1, I'm curious to how much that bonus would become.
That.
Honestly, that's a higher value than I thought it would.
Yeah. Not bad.
Honestly, yeah, Mars's card might actually be pretty good in the right situation.
True. True. More biology. You're able to determine that these mushrooms are edible. You fill your basket with big chunks of tasty fungus. Utopia is placed with your haul. Great work. This is great for kudos too.
Oh yeah, you're getting tons, so you might actually be able to get something nice.
Nice. I don't know that I can actually by myself fix the whole starving issue, but we can at least put like
Yeah, you can put a dent into it.
A dense cloud of pollen makes it hard to see even your hand in front of your face here. It's a good thing you have a helmet with a filter. Not perfect though, and it doesn't help visibility. Be patient and look carefully. The pollen clouds eventually shift, giving you glimpses of something obstructing the path. It looks like a snap bladder, an infamously territorial predator around these parts. When they're heavily pregnant, they use the pollen fog to pick off their prey. Good God at all the P's in that sentence.
No kidding.
You could just stroll through. Carefully avoid the
You
creek.
can, but I think perhaps you should partake in an alternate patrol route.
Nice. You pass through the cloud unharmed, staying out of the reach of the bloated snap bladder. It sticks its snappers in your direction, but it's much too heavy with the spawn to chase you. The fact that it calls, like, the babies spawn is just hilarious to me.
Yes,
Look,
how is
Cal.
the spawn doing?
Trying to capture one!
Yes.
This one's a hard one.
Float cows.
Goodness! Hang on, I gotta save these
No
reds,
kidding.
actually. Draw a card. That way I can just do this.
Yeah, the first collectible use is free. How nice.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. See. It's not exactly likely we'll do that. Yeah, that doesn't give us a very good result here.
Nah, I definitely put hers like at the end and just use something else for this first bit. Then again, you could get a 4, 5, 6 straight, huh?
I know, but I was trying to
Ooh.
do, because this is a 7, so I can go 7, 6, 5, 4.
Oh yeah, you're right. Ooh.
So I think I'm going to just throw these in here.
Yeah. It's like first hand can be a wash, that's fine. Second hand can be really friggin' good.
Yeah. 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, that gives a ton of points.
Keep between rounds.
Oh, so you could play that one and like get it back?
I guess.
Uh,
Do I have any
I
gem
think it'll
points?
describe it if you hover over the text, I think.
Returns to your hand after played in multi-round challenges. I mean, this is
Okay,
the
yeah,
last
so
round,
that's
so it doesn't matter.
yeah, this
But
is the last round, so unfortunately. But that's definitely a good one if you get it early on.
that probably is going to kill my stress.
Probably, but you might need it. Yeah, honestly, you might want to go with
I wonder.
a full yellow flush. That might
Yeah,
give you more.
that does it. My poor stress levels. Animals is
It's
almost maxed
fine.
out, though.
Nice.
Eventually, you pick out one of the young females that looks underfed and moves more slowly than the others. She seems like an outcast. The others won't let her eat, and they keep chasing and harassing her. She should be easier to catch, and as malnutritioned as she is, maybe easier to tame. You get a lasso around her and hold her down while she whinnies in terror and releases her his ballast to try and get away. You're in the blast radius, but you hold firm. You're able to bob her along behind you all the way back to the depot.
Nice.
Oh,
Wrangled yourself some sheep.
tending animals and geoponics. Well, howdy, Utopia says when you bring the float cow in. What do we have here? Why, you're a real cowgirl, Solana. I'm might jealous. She inspects the tired float cow. She's looking a little under the weather, Utopia proclaims. Here's hoping we can nurse her back to health back on the ranch. I'll take her back myself, and you can come see her anytime in geoponics. All right, I think we can get one more thing out of
Yep, barely. You're at like 5 stress away,
it.
which is just enough.
Just enough. I'm just glad we figured out how to beat the shimmer.
Yes, so
Oh,
that your
hi.
dad is safe.
Kudos. You find a wealthy blep bush, blip, blip, blip bush, and harvest some of the leaves and bring back to the colony. Utopia is beyond excited as she sees your haul. Oh, blip! She cries, shoving her hands right into the basket of rustling leaves. Solana, you're a girl after my own heart. She puffs a leaf in her mouth and chews on it, and then shudders happily. Whew! She cries. That'll perk you up, but good. Aunt Anne brews a heck of a cup with the stuff, but me, I prefer it raw. She looks at you. Don't you go getting any funny ideas. This'll turn you green and give you spots. Cross my heart. Stay away until you're older.
This is just the equivalent of like tobacco or coffee, isn't it?
Rebellion. That's hilarious. A potent brew. +2 for each
That
gem on the.
phase.
I know, right? Ugh. Just because Utopia was born on Earth, she thinks she's an adult just like the rest of them. She's closer to your age than all the other adults. What does she know anyway? You wait until Utopia leaves and then shove a leaf into your mouth. Ugh! You struggle not to spit it out right away. It's so bitter. Can't help but stick out your tongue. Blip indeed. Oh, that actually reduced her stress. Mysteriously, you experience a
Nice.
rush of giddiness a few minutes later. Whew, wow. That blip sure is good. No wonder adults keep this stuff away from kids. It's probably addictive. Aha, I can do another one.
Yes, additional time has been granted through the power of.
An absolutely enormous tree forms as part of the path here. Its roots cut natural stairs into the path, and its magnificent canopy of large flat leaves completely blocks out the sky. They arch overhead almost to the ground on the other side. Walking under it is like going through a tunnel. In the tunnel is dark and gloomy, unseasonably cool, and filled with the whispering of leaves. You get the sense that something is aware of your presence. Whisper back. Bonus to pairs.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else can we do? That's a big one. 5, 4, 4, 3. Oop. 7. That's a 6. A 3. 2 and a 1. I'm missing a 5 and a 4, but you know.
Yeah, it's fine.
I still got 3 stars on it. Animals is so close. I can't wait to see what we get on the last one. A nearby leaf unfurls and offers you 2 large hard nuts. You feel a sense of peace and cooperation wash over you, like you and the tree have an understanding. Eat one and plant the other. Yeah. -1 from the starving status. You crack one of the nuts and eat the meat inside. It's bitter, but tasty. You take the other one to a clearing about an hour away and plant the second nut. Good luck, haunted tree. All right. Oh, what are you?
Ooh.
A bristle slug is rooting around in the underbush. It's like a little porcupine with no legs. Well, little is relative. It comes up to your waist and must be at least 100 kilograms. Like a seal. You've seen a few of these at geoponics. They're easy to catch, and their spines and berries naturally fall off and are edible. A chewy, renewable source of food, kind of like jerky. Maybe you should catch this one. Try to catch it. We got this. We know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Do you have enough Hopeye facts?
Oh, it creates a new one every time. Actually, what are we at, 11?
Yeah.
It makes it 10. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't because it becomes red, and then all reds are added. So it doesn't actually let me get the duplicates there. I might need to get rid
A
of some of the
shame.
Hopeye facts. They keep duplicating. Right, that ruined my thing. Because if I do that, it swaps it. Hmm. Guess I'll do that. There's so many Hopeyes.
So many Hopeyes.
There's so many Hopeyes. Let me get them out of my hand. It does not help with that, though. I don't think I actually have like a discard option, do I?
Yeah, not that I'm aware of.
Hmm. Okay, I can brute force this.
You do have enough logs.
I do have a lot of logs. I know how to brute force it.
This is what all the collectibles have been building up for.
Pretty much. You're pretty sure this one's a female because it has bristles on its butt as well as its head. Her eyes are a deep green. You think you'd call her Emerald. She seems calm in the net, like she isn't too worried about where she might be going. You crouch down with a clump of leaves and she sticks her muzzle through the net and eats them right out of your hand. Her whiskers tickle. Yay! Pat her on the forehead and pack her off to the geoponics barns. You could go visit her there later if you like. Too worn out to continue. But hey, we did some really good foraging though.
Yeah, you got a ton of colony food, and you even got 2 whole ass animals back to base.
We are tired. We need a break. It's the early wet. I guess we can check in on people and make sure. Hey, look, another log. You need some time off. Very true. I've already decided where I like spending my time off now, though. And the animals. I assume that gives me animals.
Most likely, but yours is already almost at maximum, which is funny.
You spend some time with Squishy. They're so affectionate. Their favorite place to sit is under your shirt. Their velvety fur tickling your belly as they make contented little purring noises. Aww! Okay. We are rested and ready to continue. Look at how many kudos we have!
Yeah, you nearly have 200. Like, there's a lot of good stuff you can buy in the shop when you get there,
Oh,
I think.
your dad is running some kind of test on the trippets. He's playing different chords and trying to see if they have a language or are just making instinctive animal calls. You help him by holding up random objects and trying to determine if their sounds map to any understanding of what they're seeing. They're either saying kill all humans or linguini sports ball, your dad says, staring at the readout in his holopome. Just can't be sure.
Could be anything.
Our dad's funny. Yeah, Mom, I know. I need to get better at brain.
Your brain not good enough.
Brain is not good enough. Whoa. Is that just in the background? Okay, that was just in the background. Goodness, we have so many things we can do here. Hey, look, this gets empathy up.
Ah, nice.
Let's tend to the animals. It'll probably max out my animal stat. Then again, I
Yeah,
have a little
but
bit of
this is one of the
purple.
rare places you actually can get empathy.
You meet your dad in the animal pens, fresh and ready for your first day at your new job. Your dad laughs at your clean clothes and your scrubbed face. Oh, Pumpkin, sorry to tell you, you're a little overdressed for the position, he chuckles. You're gonna get dirtier than all heck today. Go on, put these overalls on and let's get to work. You change and follow your dad to the float cow's pen. He rubs their noses as he points out their names. I know they're cute, but these ladies aren't pets, he says. They're livestock, and more than that, they're not really domesticated like our animals back on Earth. They're more like tame. We give all the animals lots of room to roam, and we feed them well. They're not going to get chased down and eaten by bigger animals, and we help them if they're sick. It's all a pretty good deal, I think, but they're still pretty wild, he says. You gotta be careful with them. He leans his elbows on the fence. We're pretty lucky that Vertumina has herd animals, he says. Makes it a little easier. We probably have real domesticated animals in a couple hundred years.
That's about how long it takes.
Well, kiddo, your dad says, spreading his arms. We've got all these animals. What do you want to learn about first? I don't think we should eat animal stuff. You know the bristle slugs. Or the sugar bugs. Your dad takes you to the row of crates where the soft, squishy sugar bugs are all clumped up together in the moist muck. These guys are pretty cool, he says, picking one up. It perfectly fits in his palm. There's a colony just like us, and if you tickle them, you get. He brushes his finger off the top of the sugar bug, and a cool jet of gooey stuff comes out. Sugar bug syrup. He says, pretty neat, right?
Oh, so you can get little animal facts about all of them.
Mm-hmm. Great, your dad says, clapping you on the back. That's the kind of energy I want to see around here. We need someone to muck out the float cow stables. They might float, but their poop sure doesn't. Shovel. Have fun!
Of course.
Well, yeah, it's our first time on the job. We have to.
Yep. Oh god, your goal is only a 26. Ah. Actually, with the cards it gave you, that might actually be somewhat difficult.
You were saying?
You know what? Fair enough.
And I do say that means that our animals are at 100. Granted, there's still a little bit of purple I can see, so we're not maxed, like, without our stat buffs.
Yeah, so it's still got a ways to go. But that's good, because you need more empathy growth anyway.
We've almost finished this year. Yeah, we could do it one more time. That should finish off our animal stuff.
Yep, possibly. Plus, I imagine hanging out with the animals and tending to them might end up giving you more colony food, depending.
That's true. You're working with the bristle slugs this week. There's a whole herd of the slug-sealed porcupine beasts lumbering through the fields and rubbing against their grass posts. You can walk right up to them and they don't mind at all. You empty the berry catching buckets and sort through the berries, picking out loose stones and planting any that have sprouted. Those ones will grow into bristle bugs too one day. Wait, this is like a creature that, like, grows from a plant? That's wild.
I mean, it's an alien planet.
I know. It's wet season and they're fully bristled, and so sometimes you have to separate out anyone who gets too territorial. Even when they're cranky, they're still pretty docile. You spend some time playing with the cute bristle slugs you found while foraging Emerald. She's looking bright eyed and happy. You come back from lunch one day to find the door to the pen wide open. Whoops! Must have forgotten to lock it. Good thing bristle slugs don't tend to roam. You do a head count 15, 16, 17. You seem to be short one bristle slug. At least it's not Emerald. She's still relaxing in the pen, happily snoring away. Luckily, bristle slugs aren't very stealthy. There's a glistening slime trail leading towards the stratospheric, decorated with little clusters of berries. You lock the gates and set off along the trail to find your wayward bristle slug. You easily find the bristle slug. It's gotten itself wedged into two panels, scritching back and forth on the most perfect scratching situation possible. You laugh and fill your shirt with the berries like a little and gently nudge it back towards the herd. It's slow going, but eventually everyone's back together again. Good work, Rancher. Nice.
Excellent. Nice.
And that is our last perk in animals.
Excellent.
Been 3 seasons of heavy food rationing, getting more and more strict as the year dragged on, and the fields continue to struggle. You've been wasting away. You all have. It's not just the lack of calories; there just aren't enough vitamins and good stuff in the food you're eating. Chris, your muscles ache all the time. Sometimes you feel strangely euphoric, filled with inexplicable energy, but often feels like there are weights tied to your shoulders pulling you down. You're tougher than most, but you still have trouble sleeping despite being tired all the time. You spend the whole day in a dazed fog. Hard to tell dreams from reality. At least you hardly feel the hunger now. For months, the idea of food plagued your thoughts, each one like a dagger in your stomach. They've been replaced by an odd sense of peace, now that you feel half tethered to this reality, floating above everything like a balloon. Your friends stop working and retreat to their quarters. You lie to each other on the holonet, all saying you're okay, just take it easy, wait for the harvest. Well, the harvest came and went, as meager as ever. Your mother still hasn't given up, and never rests, never stops working, as much as your dad begs her to. She must be sleeping in geoponics because you hardly see her in the family quarters anymore. Where you lie, nestled in the bed in your cozy, fugue. Fugue? It all seems like far, far too much effort to bother with. You're out there in the fields with her, despite being her sidekick, helping fetch things. She never slows down. When the robo-plow finally breaks under the pressure, she doesn't. She's out there even longer, doing everything by hand. Both your parents feel responsible for this famine, but as head of geoponics, your mom takes it personally. She's been skipping meals, relying on water and pressed soy bar rations, just enough to calories to keep the body moving, but not enough to stay healthy. Yet she never lets up on working herself to the bone, barely even sleeping, increasing swallow-eyed and gaunt. You and your dad try to slow her down, but well, she's a stubborn woman. If not for her, she says, then who? You and your dad are in the lounge, slowly sipping your vegetable broth when there's a commotion at the door. Someone's running in, gasping for breath, yelling for you and your father to come to geoponics. Oh no. You run over.
No.
You run over, knowing deep in the pit of your stomach that something terrible has happened. When you see the faces of the agriculturists, your mom's people, you know the feeling's real. Your dad sees her body first, lets out a cry like something you've never heard before, a deep, unimaginable pain dragged up from the darkest part of where fear lives. Aww. That sucks. Your dad falls to his knees beside the frail body of your mother. He pulls her into his arms and sobs, wretched. You don't even know what to think. Your mom always seemed larger than her body, but seeing her now, there's nothing there, just fragile shell. They tell you she didn't even cry out. She just went to her knees and then laid down on the dirt, and that was it. Gone.
Damn.
Your mother's body is taken to the incinerator room, and that night the colony gathers to pay their respects. Join them? Like Tammy's funeral, the incinerator room has been cleared and a wreath of flowers placed over the mouth of the organic recycler. They're white astrania, your mother's favorite flower, carefully carried from Earth with the hopes of its flourish on Vertumina, just like you. You stand with your father and Aunt Anne. Yutiko and the rest of the council are here as well, including Rhett. You're surprised to see tears rolling down his face. He's such a hard ass in the garrison. Hal's here with all the other agriculturists. The rest of the colony waits in the canteen to offer their condolences after the service. Governor Yutiko gives the eulogy. As a colony, we share our blessings, she begins solemnly. However, today is in sad company we gather to share the burden of our grief. Fluorescent was born on Earth, but she, more than many of us, exemplified the spirit of our endeavor to bring life beyond the stars. She bore life, not only her body, but bringing it forth from the ground she so faithfully attended. The debt we owe her is a kind that we can never be repaid, she continues. It's with a deep and unbearable grief that we must continue on without her, in awe and respect of her sacrifice, the depth of which was never expected of her, but which she did not expect of anyone else. It is on her strong shoulders that she carries it. Yutiko closes the door to the recycler, and the particle disintegrators begin to reclaim the molecules that once formed your mother. Your father squeezes your shoulder, making a small, choked-off noise of pain. As a community, we remember Fluorescent. As a community, we return her body to the soil that nourishes us. In this way, her sacrifice is recognized in the manifest body of the colony. The ceremony is adjourned to the canteen, where a somber wake is held in your mother's memory. There isn't enough food to dull the emotions, and your empty stomach only reminds you of her unfinished work. Your father is the new head of geoponics. In a few hours, he receives your mother's remains so he can add them to the colony's precious supply of brown soil from Earth. You touch the cool lid of the container, marveling that your mother could fit in such a small box. You don't have to be okay, your dad says quietly. His voice is thick with emotion. I know. I'm not. I have to keep going where she left off, but if you can, you should take some time off. Your mom wouldn't want you to be weak. She toiled too hard for you to sit around feeling sorry for yourself while there was work to be done. A few days after the funeral, surveyors returned with an unexpected bounty from the Valley of Vertigo. It's enough to survive for another month until the new year, if you keep rationing. The colony will continue to limp along, but without your mother. Damn!
Damn.
That wasn't even the glow!
Yep.
You can upgrade pet cards via relaxing in the park.
So you can get Ricky to upgrade once more.
Ugh, that sucks. I will play the mess out of this game after once I'm done with this first playthrough, just cuz I want to see who all you can keep from like dying if you can
Yeah,
prep
like,
for it.
was that a matter of you barely didn't have enough food to prevent that event, or
Yeah.
who knows?
Aw. Cuz you can check like this has been available the whole playthrough where I can go and see how the food's doing and different things like that. This has been available to me the entire time. Ugh, that's painful. That sucks so much.
Quite so, and you still have to go through the glow here.
Yeah, hopefully it's uneventful. Oh, nope, it's not.
I was gonna say, it's the glow, it's never uneventful. You know you gotta just fucking take your stress out on something.
Yeah, I know. The roar wakes you. It would wake the dead. It shakes the walls, rumbles the ship's hull, and makes your heart skip a beat. You're paralyzed by a sudden clench of fear in your gut. Through your porthole window, you hear the metal screeching and people shouting. Then another roar, guttural and rumbling like the sound of a mountain collapsing. Something enormous is out there. Oh, now we're heroic, as usual. You don't know what gives you the courage, but you run out to the fields and face the horrible creature face to. Oh my god!
Well, I see why the farm has been having, trouble with the fields getting destroyed, because what the hell?
That's Nim and her brother.
Another good reason for you to be out here.
Has no face. In place of fear, or even a head, its body just unzips, revealing a mess of writhing pink tentacles and blinking eyes. Pocket with jagged, asymmetrical teeth. It stands on four enormously powerful legs, each as wide across as tree trunks. Clinging to its back and thick slug-like tail are clumps of lichen that glow faintly in the night. The creature is nearly twice the height of a greenhouse. It stands on top of a flattened one, the wreckage of lattice and plants all around. Flickers of light from las rifles and stun gloves light it from underneath, and the stench of ozone is thick in the air. You see Nim and her brother Calm darting in and around its legs with their twin shocks of red hair. The faceless creature lurches into another greenhouse, oblivious to the soldiers trying to herd it away. The monster left a trail of destruction from where it smashed through the walls. Smaller creatures are pouring in through the gap and they're heading straight to command. You watch helplessly as the hordes of animals storm command, sneaking through torn away panels and smashing through windows. Too far away to hear the screams, but Governor Yutiko is inside. You have to do something. Ah, shit.
Okay, so Governor Unico is old.
I
I'm
know.
just gonna put that out there.
Are you putting that out there as in I need to help her because there's no way she's living through it? Or are you giving me
No.
she's older, so it's time for her, it's her time?
I mean, it's up to you want to interpret it. She's old, which means, yeah, if you don't help her, she's probably absolutely gonna die.
Why are we
But
the only people who
that,
can help anybody?
I know, right? But that big thing is a monster. So I don't know what you can do to really fight it, and I don't know how much you can really help them. But like, oh my gosh, this is a tough decision.
Why does it say fight the faceless monster on your own? Nem and Calm are there.
Yeah, honestly, that seems like a terrible choice, but also one that sounds
I
hilarious if it were to work.
I am beyond terrified of helping Governor Yutiko and Nem dying. Like,
Yeah,
I feel so bad not helping Governor Yutiko, but I will feel worse if Nem dies.
yeah.
And I don't know that Nim can die though, because at the very beginning of this game, we woke during a catastrophe and Nim is the one who came and got us. So I don't know if Nim can die,
Huh.
but Calm
I
might
mean,
die.
Calm might die, true, because that is Nem's brother.
Someone's dying.
Someone's absolutely dying.
I don't think I have a choice in that matter. I think I just get to pick who.
And I'm sorry, Governor Yutiko, but you've had a long run.
She has had a long run. I guess Mars for council. Aw. You run towards geoponics, picking up a handful of rocks as you cross through the barren field. When Calm sees you, he gestures you for you to flee. Get out of here, Solana, he says. You're gonna get yourself killed. The hard one. You grip your rocks in defiance. You're sick of being told to hide like a child. You want to help. Besides, getting rid of this thing is probably the more important thing. Know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely.
I hate to get rid of all the gem cards because I feel like it's going to give them to me afterward. Actually, go for a straight. I have spares. First collectible use is free. God, that's such a big one. Can do it. It's fine. I wish I had all my reds! Yeah, we've got this.
Yeah. I will mention the stream is experiencing some delay, probably because of the weather.
That's fine. Oh, we're not gonna go too much longer anyway.
Yeah.
Right on the dot.
All you needed.
1 point of combat for that. Oh my god, that thing. That is horrific.
Yeah, that is a monster.
You try your hardest, but even with full force of the defense squad, you can barely keep it contained near the farms. You dart in and around the battle, throwing rocks and making noise to keep the abomination's attention away from the rest of the colony. Its tentacles whip around, slapping the ground and knocking into people, picking them up and throwing their helpless bodies like dolls, only to be crushed under its massive tree trunk-like feet. The fields are littered with bodies of the fallen. Sweat stings your eyes, but somehow you stay on your feet. Others aren't so lucky. Solana, watch out! Calm cries. Oh, don't you dare die anyway. Calm cries out, and you look up just in time to dodge the wet slap of a tentacle, tripping over a body and sprawling into the dirt yourself. The faceless makes a horrible noise from deep inside its craw, flecking you with spittle as your guts liquefy from the near miss. You're close enough to feel the sick heat radiating off of it. It doesn't have a face, but you realize with horror that it sees you. The beam of plasma rifle arcs over your head, and the faceless roars again and turns its terrible attention to Calm. No! You scream and uselessly cover your head as it lumbers over you. As you scramble to your feet, you see Calm go flying through the air. He lands a few meters away with a sickening wig crunch. No! Nim cries in horror as she
God
runs to
damn
Calm's
it.
side. He was gonna die anyway, wasn't he?
Probably.
This game! Nim cries in horror as she runs to Calm's side, but it's too late. His body's bent in an unnatural angle and his eyes open and his face frozen in stupefied terror. He looks unreal, like a wax mannequin. He's just gone, like that. Nim lets out a primal scream of pain as you can see the thought ignite in her mind, contort her face with an ugly fury as she stands up to launch herself at the faceless again. You grab her arm and she yells at you wordless rage before collapsing to her knees, throwing her body over Calm's and sobbing like the scared teenager she is. You can only stand and watch. You hear a colossal cracking noise and look up to see the faceless stumble towards the stratospheric with a roar that shakes your very molecules. It loses its balance for the last time and falls onto the ship. The metal screams as the ship buckles and gives away. Whole pieces of quarter wings shear off as your home opens like a tin can, spilling its contents into the square. The strato lurches, then collapses under the creature's weight. The abomination is slain, but as wails of grief join the whimpers of the dying, you have to wonder, at what cost? The council calls an all-colony meeting to face the aftermath of the attack. In the oppressive gloom of glow, you gather near engineering with the other survivors. It's one of the few buildings still standing. The corpse of the Faceless still sits in the caved-in wreckage of the stratospheric, spilling its flaccid pink tentacles from horrible zipper-tooth maw, already beginning to stink. You can't forget what you saw. That's so creepy. Your mind keeps replaying that terrible moment. Faceless rearing up and obscuring the sky, Nim and her brother looking so small before it. Governor Yutiko was killed by the smaller creatures that swarmed the command during the attack. In her absence, Seek addresses the colony. The Count acknowledges the bravery of the defense gods, citing their heroism in finally taking down the Faceless. Geoponics is gone. The greenhouse is destroyed and fields trampled. After a year of suffering, starving, and only barely scraping by, you're not just back where you started, it's even worse. Everything your mom sacrificed herself for, gone in one night. The entire front half of the stratospheric's been destroyed. The living quarters, the canteen, the garrison, the lounge, even the creche, it's all gone. It's only by some stroke of luck that people hiding in the creche weren't all killed. Zeke solemnly reads the names of those who lost their lives, too many, including Governor Yutiko. You all stand for a moment of silence. You feel the weight of loss like a blow on your chest. Nim and her family cry out when her brother Calm's name is called, and their quiet sobbing continues in silence. With the living quarters destroyed, everyone moves into the engineering wing for shelter. You're crowded into the classrooms with their families, the adults trying to make it seem like a sleepover, but you're all still so shaken. Nim cries about her brother and screams at anyone who tries to comfort her. Eventually, you just ignore her grief, as painful as it is to hear her sobbing at night. You feel like you've been awake for days and you'll never fully sleep again. You try, but you keep jerking awake, crying out in fear. Eventually, you fall asleep sitting up, held in your father's arms. Your sleep is fitful, but mercifully dreamless. Damn it! Oh my god.
That's rough.
That is so rough. Oh my god. Geoponics is gone. The whole wall is destroyed. Garrison's gone. Oh my god.
Goodness.
I don't know how you could have prevented all that. Or if that was even something you could prevent. It's just misunderstood? No fucking way! No! Oh my gosh. Squishy's okay. Squishy's still here. It still sounds cute.
Yeah.
That sucks. First our mom, and then Calm, then Unico. No! This game! Gonna destroy me. It's been hard to talk to your dad about everything. Losing your mom, then losing the colony right after. It's too much to take. Neither of you know what to say. Are we dead? Is this like game over?
Who knows?
I know it's hard, Cal says, fiddling nervously with a tassel on his shirt. But I just think, what would your mom do right now? She wouldn't complain, that's for sure. True Cal, you're way too positive, my bro. This is examining a bit of rubble, turning it over in his hands. Wonder if we're ever gonna find, like, alien tech, he says. Wouldn't that be cool? Not what I'm worried about, Dis. Sorry, bud. Oh, I don't even see Nem.
She is sad.
Oh. Mars crosses her arms and sulks. What's the point of having all these kudos if I can't actually use them, like, to buy stuff we need? Like, hello, it's not like I can mail order some more supplies through the wormhole. I assume this whole year is going to be based around rebuilding everything.
Probably.
Tangent frowns. I just don't understand. Why now? Why does it keep getting worse? I don't know, Tangent, but I am Sag. Okay. I'm gonna save. There we go. That's the best thing I can name that.
Yep.
I'm gonna raid somebody and go cry.